Ya, selamat datang di New Life untuk sesi siang hari ini dari counselor ya. Nah, yang pertama-tama kenapa sih sesi ini dibutuhkan atau dibagikan buat kalian ya? Karena tanpa terasa kalian in the next 3 months kalian akan graduate dari CBCS ya. Yang artinya kalian udah naik level, udah next level, kalian udah nggak jadi student ya, tapi namanya udah mahasiswa, betul? Ya. Siapa yang kalian masih pengen di Cahaya Bangsa aja, nggak mau lulus? Ada? Mau balik lagi ya? Tuh, alumni pada mau balik lagi loh. Jadi kalau kalian yang berpikir in the next 3 months kalian bakal free, kalian akan merasakan sesuatu, ternyata setelah kalian udah alumni, pengen balik lagi ke CBCS. Kenapa mereka ini ya, ada 3 kakak-kakak di depan yang sudah jadi alumni CBCS, mereka malah ngangkat tangan pengen lagi balik ke CBCS menjadi student ya. Nah siang hari ini kita akan kupas ya, mereka akan sharing. Semoga ini bisa bermanfaat buat kalian ya. Terutama kalian tanpa disadari ya, di Cahaya Bangsa itu akan berbeda sekali pada saat kalian keluar dari Cahaya Bangsa ya. Nah ini yang sudah dialami oleh alumni atau kakak-kakak kelas kalian. Karena ternyata di luar sana itu sangat berbeda dari yang sudah kalian alamin di Cahaya Bangsa. Believe it or not, nanti kalian akan mengalaminya sendiri ya. Jadi nggak ada lagi tuh di luar sana guru-guru ataupun dari staff yang akan selalu mengingatkan, membantu ya, akan selalu welcome dengan pertanyaan. Oke, di debat juga oke. Nah, di sana nanti kalian di luar kelas 12 pada saat kalian kuliah mungkin banyak perbedaan ya. Itu yang dari sekolah. Begitu juga dengan sosial yang akan kalian hadapi pun berbeda. Jauh dengan yang ada di sini. Kenapa? Karena di sana sangat sekuler, bervariasi ya. Coba minta kalian angkat tangan yang kalian akan kuliah keluar. Boleh angkat tangan? Nah, pada saat kalian kuliahnya ke luar negeri, otomatis diversification dari identity atau dari nationality-nya sangat bervariasi. Artinya culture-nya berbeda ya. Sesama orang Indonesia aja yang begitu sangat tolerir itu berbeda ya. Yang anak-anak kalian yang akan kuliah walau tetap di Indonesia itu akan ada tantangannya sendiri. Apalagi yang kalian akan ke luar negeri. Karena banyak dari negara yang punya culture berbeda dengan Cahaya Bangsa dan Indonesia pada umumnya ya. Jadi ini akan menjadi menarik. Semoga dari sesi ini kalian bisa mendapatkan sesuatu untuk mempersiapkan kalian pada saat kalian keluar dari bubble of CBCS. Oke, so interesting, saya undang Miss Viola as a counselor untuk sebagai host di acara ini. Ya, silakan.
Thank you, Miss Sheila. Okay, so I think we got enough briefing from Miss Sheila. So hopefully this session gonna be interesting and meaningful for you. So I'm gonna introduce you to 3 of our alumni. So our theme today is Life After CBCS, Towards Resilience and Beyond. And then even if I'm gonna ask them some of the questions, but later in the middle of the session, I'm going to give the time for you as well. So feel free if later you have your own questions, okay? And it even highly encourage for you, you're gonna be the one who ask them. Is it okay? Okay, ya. Okay, so for the first one, I'm gonna invite, nah ini salah satu kakak yang ternyata he said that he has been 10 years of not visiting CBCS ya. It's been 10 years ago that when he was graduating from CBCS. So please introduce, so this is Kak Jeremy Kristanto. Okay, next. Okay, so here we have the first guest speaker is Kak Jeremy Kristanto. So he was graduating from Master of Management, specification in marketing, and also graduated from Bachelor of Management, S2-nya di University of Melbourne. When he was Bachelor is Prasetya Mulia University. He is now currently is a businessman, for the founder and the director of Lucas Work. So if you know, Lucas Work is a co-working space ya kayak co-working space, and then he was also National Traffic Controller for the GNA Express, GNT ya. JT atau Jet? Jangan salah sebut merek ya. Jet Express, bahaya nih kalau salah sebut merek. And then he was also Chief Marketing Officer and Visikid South Tangerang. So please welcome Kak Jeremy Kristanto. Oke, selamat datang Kakak, silakan. Okay, the second one we have Kak Hilda. If you know and if you still remember when we are having the tes bakat Indonesia ya from aptitude test. So she's a Bachelor of Psychology graduate from Atmajaya, currently working in the psychological field, a psychological advertisement field, and also social media marketing agency. So she has this a lot of working experience, mostly about psychological assessment from Tes Bakat Indonesia. Currently still being the social media creator and associate tester. So if you remember that you met her during the aptitude test, and also she's the co-founder of Satellite Agency. Nanti later Kak Hilda will tell us more about that. She's graduating from Atmajaya Catholic University, majoring in psychology. So please welcome Kak Hilda, our second guest speaker. And then last one. Nah, ini last one dikenalin atau nggak dikenalin nih? Oke, last one we have Kak Ethan ya. Ini ada satu yang udah kenal banget bis. Oke, last one we have Kak Ethan Nathanael. He was just graduated from University of British Columbia, majoring in Bachelor of Science, Data Science. Currently, he's working in BCA as the business analyst and also data, more specifically for the data research analyst ya. He was also working as data analyst as well in BC Infrastructure Benefit. So please welcome Kak Ethan. Okay, give applause for Kak Ethan. Udah kenal banget ya gini ya. Okay, so three of them are very unique in their characteristics. Two of them basically studying abroad. So they will give us more picture how does it feel to study out there and then what's actually to be prepared. But before we go further, let's hear first how, please tell us more before we go to how's the college life. Let's hear first, how do you guys come out with your decision about college majoring, university choices, and also your career path right now. So tell us more about the beginning of the journey ya. Iya, silahkan. Semua saling rendah hati ini kayaknya. Pada humble ya.
Hello everyone. So my name is Jeremy. I was in class 2015, so 10 years ago. That's right. And the reason I chose to take business major for my bachelor's and marketing for my master's was so even before. SOR, even before high school, I was wanting to be a businessman for a reason to like serve others and to find a passion of my own. And that's the reason why I chose the major. But before that, I was still unsure in 12th grade, even though I know what I wanted, but I was still unsure. So I took some psycho tests, like what Hilda did. So I took I took psycho tests several psycho tests, one from school and one from outside of the school, to make sure what is my passion, what is my what I actually wanted that maybe I didn't know for sure at the time, and maybe because actually I didn't know what I wanted before, the results shows the similar things. That's lead me to business major and marketing. And why I chose Master of Marketing, because after my bachelor's, I learned that I wanted to deepen my knowledge in marketing.
Okay, yeah, because business field also have so many section ya Kak ya.
Yeah.
So why marketing then?
Because after, and if you guys remember before in my CV, there's one, the CMO of Vici Kids. Vici Kids was our business project, our final business project in Pastia Mulia. And I found out that in the business, every sections, every part of the business are important, like the operation, finance, and everything is very important. But without a clear branding, without a clear marketing, it cannot sell. That's why I chose to deepen in marketing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you Kak Jeremy. Kak Hilda, Kak Ethan duluan nih next.
Test, okay. As for me, I think taking psychology is already a passion since SOL. So I knew that, yeah, I knew that I like psychology. Starting from watching some movies, yeah, I think psychology is such a good field, knowing about many people, many different people. And then I end up taking psychology with many struggles. So at first I wanted psychology, but then during my time, during SOL or SOR, I kind of forget, culinary suddenly rise up. So I wanted to take culinary, but then like my parents said, if you want to take culinary, what for? You have a major for it. Okay, you don't have to be a bachelor. Learning by doing is a good thing for culinary. That's why I go back to psychology, taking the psychotest as well. I think psychotest is one of the helping tools that can really help us to know what major we fit in. Because there are several psychology called apa ya jatuhnya banyak biro psikologi tuh dia bisa ngasih lihat kita tuh nggak cuman dari apa yang kita mau. Kadang kan kayak kita bingung nih kita maunya ini tapi kok kayaknya kalau dijalanin agak susah gitu. Jadi ada beberapa biro psikologi tuh yang bisa ngarahin kita sesuai dengan siapa diri kita sendiri gitu. And then semuanya itu dari hasilnya, it turns out I fit into psychology. Yeah. And then having the goal to be a psychologist, I take several steps back. What should I do? What major should I take in? And then what things I have to learn. Nah, that's why udah mantep banget hatinya ya udah ambil psikologi aja.
So the exploration also similar to Kak Jeremy, somehow being helped by the psychological test that you guys are experiencing back then. Okay, thank you Kak Hilda. Kak Ethan,
Yes.
how about you?
For me, I think it started by liking my favorite subject was math.
Math. Wow.
'Cause of
Any
the
of you have
teacher.
a favorite subject, math?
My favorite teacher. was
Favorite
Rabbit.
teacher?
And then I wanted to take math in the beginning, but I wasn't sure what the career path for a person majoring in math will be. So I was just looking at the major list, like the list of majors in my university, and I saw data science. It was still up and coming, a new thing, so it was interesting enough for me to take it, and then it's still very applicable to math, like statistics, but more from the technology side, more applicable to today's day and age. I think that's for me. Not much. It's just from math.
Just math. Just starting from the love of math ya, so powerful. So we see there are some pattern ya. Berarti for Kak Jeremy, you know what you want. You know already what you want. You know already what your purpose. You know already your goal. Kak Hilda also similar. She knows already what you like, even starting from SOL. And Kak Ethan also the same ya. You know already what you like, which is math. And also the favorite teacher back there. Okay, so now let's listen more about their college life because there's a variety in their college university choices and also the location. Kak, what was the biggest challenge you face when transitioning from high school, starting from you are graduating or from 12th grade like them, transitioning from high school to college? Is there any biggest challenge that you face as in the transition time? Ladies first.
Okay, ladies first. Maybe for me, it's not so much of a difference in the culture because I'm studying in Atmajaya, which is in Jakarta. We are still using the Indonesian culture and stuff. But one thing that I really feel is that being in Cahaya Bangsa, we're like in a safe bubble. Once we're out of Cahaya Bangsa, yeah, we can see the world. We have to know what kind of people we play with, like what kind of circle we're in. And I guess like Jakarta still have I experienced some culture shocks, not really a culture shock maybe because I'm only like living in Cahaya Bangsa so far. I don't really have friends outside of Cahaya Bangsa which I play with them. Yeah, so I experienced some culture shocks in the sense of like more of an open world than being in the safe bubble. That's why one of the thing that you should really think about is who you play with and your own what is pendirian?
Principle?
Oke, your own principle. Jadi kayak harus punya pendirian atas diri sendiri. Jadi kita tuh bisa filter orang-orang yang ada di sekitar kita. Mungkin itu one of the thing yang sangat beda dari Cahaya Bangsa ya.
So even if kalau Kak Hilda kan di ini ya, Atmajaya ya. Atmajaya also private school, university like us, private schools, Christian schools as well, Catholic ya.
Catholic.
Christian and Catholic not much differences. Bandung and Jakarta not much differences, but even if so, there are still some culture shock
Yes.
that you experience. So how did you adapt to it?
Good thing for me because I have my own principle, so I can directly filter what kind of friends I'm playing with. Yes, there are some people like some friends, which I know they suddenly become a different person after graduating from high school. It's because like they don't really filter their friends. Yeah, it's one of the major conflict because with your friends you go out every day after campus, after class you go out with them, and it's building your behavior and also your lifestyle from that.
So being stick to your principle is really what matters, yeah. Can you share like at least one principle that helped you the most back then?
Okay, maybe one of the principle, I grew up in a Christian family as well, outside of this safe bubble community in Cahaya Bangsa. So I tend to filter my friends from like what they do every day. The things that they do, are they building me up or is it just dragging me down? If it's dragging me down, I think I would rather just stay home and get more. We can learn many things from Google and stuff, right? Like every time we go out, aku gini deh, Indonesia aja ya. Oke. Jadi aku selalu nerapin ke diri aku sendiri itu kalau misalnya kita mau keluar atau kita mau ketemu orang, kita keluar dari rumah, we have to get something. Mau itu ilmu baru atau ada potential mungkin kerjaan atau another course and everything. Jadi kita keluar itu harus membuahkan sesuatu saat kita pulang. Kalau misalnya cuman untuk keluar have fun sekali dua kali it's okay. Tapi kalau misalnya setiap hari terus kitanya nggak berkembang buat apa gitu.
So it's not just about killing time, right?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Kaitan, itu even if dekat ternyata masih banyak bedanya. Yang jauh sekalian. Kanada ya? How is it?
I think for me is adjusting in the beginning. Soalnya kan I did Jumpstart. So Jumpstart is before the school started, ada like a camp in university where all the international students and some of the national students are invited. There were a few events introducing the campus, nunjukin, showing which sides of the campus, and then introducing just basically everything in the campus. And then culture shocknya meeting all races basically kayak from Asian countries, European countries, North America, South America. Jadi kayak a lot of people present themselves differently aja. So I think that's one of the most tough times in the beginning. And then your parents just left you alone. So everything's your responsibility. And then, but meeting the people, adjusting to different cultures, because people from each country, mereka present themselves similarly kan. So it's mostly just trying to see which people are we most relatable to.
So throughout those differences, how do you adapt to it?
Kayaknya it's more filtering sama juga
Okay.
sama Hilda. So pasti tiap orang ada cocok sama gak cocoknya. So eventually akhirnya cari yang nyaman aja, yang emang bisa nyambung ngobrolnya, or like we can also just do stuff together. Cause even like language barrier, terus there's also maybe even joking sometimes is different between Western countries and like
Pernah
Asian
ngalamin gak nih
countries.
beda sense of jokes ya?
Pernah nge-joke tapi nggak ada yang ketawa gitu kan. Jadi itu kerasa sih.
Akhirnya jadi ke-challenge ya? Ke-challenge.
Challenge is just in the beginning sih, but once you found your friend group where you nyaman and all that, I think it's mostly revolving around your friend group. So you still meet and talk to other people, but I think your daily life mostly, because all you have is your friends, right? You don't have your family, you don't have anyone. Jadi basically it's your support system throughout university. Yeah.
So you need to establish it since the beginning of the school year ya.
I mean it changed, tapi kayak mostly ada lah yang stay until like the end of my university.
Oke, thank you Kak. Kak Jerewi. Terus sama. Ya.
Yeah, more or less the same. So my bachelor's, I think at mine BSD, BSD, and my uni is like a kilometer away from Atma BSD. So it's similar, but Prasmul was it's a private university doesn't consider like religions and stuff. So it's very a mixed bag there, where learning to adapt and with like the Jakartans lifestyles and non-Christians lifestyles are very unique, and even like my friendship circle was very mixed bag. Even I learned how to live, how to like play and with a religion that maybe as Christians we thought it was a very controversial one. And even like language is very unique. I mean, even though it's still Indonesian, but for example, I was saying, I thought like everybody in Indonesia use pisan. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh panas pisan ya gitu.
Oh, pisan.
Panas pisan ya gitu. And then mereka ngomong kayak, pisang gitu kayak, oh oke. Ya, ternyata pisan is not, it's like in Sundanese gitu kan. Yeah, but I didn't know. So pisang. Terus kayak, oh apa teh gitu kan kayak, what teh kopi teh gitu. Jadi ya it's kayak even though similar but different lah gitu. Nah with my in Australia juga it's very similar with Ethan's, but I found that having a Indonesian circle is important as well, because we have similar cultures and we can like help each other and for me it was my church in Melbourne. Yeah.
So you found your church community there,
Yes.
which also have a lot of
most
Indonesian students.
church.
Mostly Indonesian students. Okay. So let's pause until this one. Do you guys have any question first for their college experience before we continue further? Any one of you wanna ask questions? You may. Ini mereka dananya lagi custom days ya Kak. Any of you wanna ask first about their college experience as the first year, maybe the transition? Hah? Masih belum? Ada yang mau tanya? Iya nih. Oh udah siap semua ya wah. Siap lunch, siap beres. Launching, ini udah siap launching ya. Some of you are also planning to study abroad, right? Ada? Giliran belakang layar ada aja pertanyaannya. Ada, oke. So, mungkin nilai masih loading ya, masih berpikir lo boleh. Kayak Kak boleh share lagi nggak Kak? Kayak there's must be, kalau sekolah kan rutinnya udah biasa ya. Kita ketebak ya, rutin sekolah, datang pagi, pulang, sore, PR, and so on. How about college life? Do you find how's the new responsibilities? Will the days always gonna be the same, having the same routines kah, new responsibilities-nya? And then like what Kak Ethan is sharing, your parents trust you fully and leave you alone there. And financially juga, monthly financially, but that's the time where you also have to manage your financial by yourself, time management and so on. How do you adjust to it? How do you manage that?
Maybe ngomong dari Canada aja ya. So in Canada you have to first compete for the courses you want to take every year. So it's for semester 1, semester 2. So first you have to plan out what you want to take. They give a recommendation but it's not fixed, so you can move around the courses. And then there's a lot of electives. So electives are courses where you can choose anything you want that interests you, as long as it's within the limitations they give. Jadi, so you will adjust your own schedule. So for each course, there can be 3 different lectures. So you can pick a morning one, an afternoon one, or sore one. Gitu.
The sore one.
And then like there can be also like three lectures in a week, 2 lectures in a week. So it varies very much. So you can also make like for example, I don't want any classes on Friday. I want to have a long weekend gitu. So you can
Adjust.
pack it on like the first 4 days gitu. So it's another responsibility again, because if you register late, you don't get class, bisa mundur everything your college degree. So it's the timetable is really important. You have to be on time because you're competing not with like maybe Cahaya Bangsa cuman 50 satu
Yeah,
angkatan.
50-ish, yeah.
If it's only against 50, you will definitely get classes. Tapi di sana kan thousands ya. Jadi if you're late by maybe a few minutes or even an hour, bisa udah full registered, and then you have to talk to the professor. Bisa kayak it's a long process lah. So I think responsibility and like time management is important, and then also like studying. It's a bit different, soalnya rame banget. One class bisa kayak 300 people, and there's only one person talking in the front. So like lebih ke harus adjust time aja sih kalau for me.
How do you keep yourself motivated back then? Because like some change, the academic also changed, right?
Yeah.
The academic rhythm also changing. How do you keep yourself?
I think knowing what's important aja sih. Like you have to know that mungkin kalau yang mau keluar negeri kan it's not cheap to go to luar negeri. So there's a certain responsibility that you have to, okay ini udah bayar mahal, I have to benar-benar ngelakuin ini dengan benar.
Karena kalau pulang-pulang nggak bener.
Kalau
Mami
mundur
baru
juga
hidup.
udah nggak enak gitu kan. Even like if it was supposed to be 4 years and then you did it in 5, maybe it's still okay, tapi money wise, time wise, everything else just messed up kan. Jadi I would say mungkin kalau saya sendiri sih, luckily my friends belajar banyak ya. And then my city was a really small city where there's nothing. So all we did was go to library, study gitu. Restoran aja dikit gitu. Jadi there's nothing to do aja. I think it helps in a sense where there's not much distractions. So that's how I keep myself.
Restoran dikit belajar masak juga nggak?
Belajar masak.
Oke. Butuh ya, Mbak? Coba, dede-dedenya butuh nggak nih belajar masak nih?
Ya yang penting bisa dimakan aja sama diri sendiri.
Bukan yang untuk dijual, yang penting
Kan
minimal
nggak dijual,
bisa dimakan.
nggak
Ya.
apa-apa. Iya,
Ya,
jangan dibagi.
yang
Kalau
penting-
teman suka juga nggak apa-apa.
Ah, iya. Menyelamatkan uang jajan masing-masing lah ya.
Iya, sharing, cooking together, save money.
Oke.
You can buy in bulk and then split.
Much cheaper.
Much cheaper. So
Yeah, in Aussie, just like maybe if you cook for a meal, it's only like $2-3. If you buy a meal, it's 15 to 20.
5 times.
Yeah, almost. Because the raw materials are quite cheap. Yeah, the meat.
Jadi siapa yang sudah mulai belajar masak, mulai bersiap ya sekarang ya ternyata ya. Kak Jeremy, what's the new responsibilities that you face as you are entering the college life?
Maybe for my bachelor's, mainly for my bachelor's in Pasimona, for the time wise, for the classes itu similar to in Cahaya Bangsa. So they already assign us the classes and what time we will take the classes. So there's not much difference there. And then we need to move around classes, so it's almost the same, but it's very strict in time because it's a business school. So they'll teach us about discipline a lot. So we cannot be late more than 5 minutes. And then can only skip class for 4 to 5 times max. If we miss that, they cut our grades for like 20%, I think. Yeah, it's almost, I forgot the exact amount because it's 10 years ago again. But yeah, so similar that. But other than university, I think it's very important to have responsibility and like doing other stuff outside of studying. For example, like for me as a businessman, it's very important for me to find more friends and to network. And secondly, it's very important to expand more than study, like maybe join some committees or like committees, organizations, yes, organizations and like organizations just to learn more and then like to be an impact or like to meet more people.
Yeah. So basically, even if I do not attach their organization experiences in this slide, so if you know their CVs, they are having a lot of organization experiences, and then I think that we would love to hear first how these organization experiences shape you ya into who you are right now. So penting ya berarti ya teman-teman kalau misalnya nanti kuliah juga nambah-nambahin organization experiences. Jadi bukan yang cuman kuliah pulang ya kayak. Kayak Kak Hilda, how's your adjustment in your college?
Maybe it's kind of different kalau misalnya di Cahaya Bangsa kita masuk kayak first day ya udah masuk udah tahu nih kelasnya, temennya itu aja. Cuman kalau misalnya di kuliah kita emang kalau misalnya di Atmajaya itu sistemnya ada paketnya. Jadi misalnya ada kelas X, Y, Z. Kalau misalnya di BSD itu X, Y, Z, ya udah kita ngambil nih mau yang X, Y atau Z. Cuman di luar itu ada namanya mata kuliah umum yang biasanya tuh kayak kewarganegaraan, agama, gitu-gitu tuh di mata kuliah umum yang gak menutup kemungkinan kita tuh satu kelasnya bukan cuman sama seangkatan kita aja, cuman sama kakak tingkat itu banyak banget kayak gitu. Jadi class wise teman-teman kita itu akan berubah setiap kelasnya, gak yang sama terus-terusan. Jadi harus benar-benar yang mantepin ke diri sendiri. Oh kita udah memutuskan untuk ngambil kuliah ini, it's all our responsibilities. Kita mau ngikutin kelasnya, they're not strict at all. Kayak di kelas mau sambil tidur, they're fine. Di kelas mau sambil nonton, mau sambil ngapain, terserah kalian. Ujian tetap ujian, nilai tetap keluar. Kalau misalnya if you fail the class, you will have to take the class again the next year, bahkan bukan next semester doang. Jadi udah otomatis pasti nambah 1 tahun. Sedangkan kita pasti maunya lulus secepat mungkin kan. 4 tahun ya udah, kalau misalnya bisa lebih awal 3,5 tahun, we still have a lot of time maybe to build up our own business or to start, jump start. You have your steps ahead untuk kerja dibanding sama teman-teman yang lainnya. Jadi ya benar-benar yang your own responsibilities. You have different classes every day, every semester you have different classes. As well as the time, maybe it's morning classes, maybe it's afternoon classes. Dan jedanya tuh bisa yang kayak jam 9 sampai 10 ada kelas, terus nanti ada kelas lagi jam 3 sore. Then what will you do between 10 to 3, what will you do gitu. Mungkin ada juga yang ngerjain tugas, itu sebenarnya balik lagi semuanya time management. Tugas banyak, dikerjain mandiri, cuma dikasih deadline, due date. If you pass the deadline, ya udah you get 0. You cannot like go to your teacher and please lah cuman 5 menit doang kok telatnya. No, 0 is 0 gitu. Jadi benar-benar harus self evaluation on what you're gonna do the whole day. And you still need university and life balance. Yes, you still need that. Tapi yang paling utama itu sih, karena di setiap kelasnya tuh teman-teman kita beda. Jadi kita benar-benar harus rely on ourselves to learn. And then during the exam as well, it's all on ourselves. Kita udah gak ada teman lagi. Gitu.
So many adjustment ya. Mau dari many decisions made also. I mean it's every day making decisions, processing ya. Even if your classes, timing, and also whether you are deciding about what you're gonna use, how you're gonna use your time. So a lot of decisions making in every day. So Kak, looking back, ini ada yang 10 years ago, ada yang 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Looking back to your short time gitu ya. What as you have experienced this college and also career, what do you wish you knew earlier? If only you knew this earlier since at their age, what would it be? Oh, ini,
Mungkin aku deh. Aku like learning psychology terus setelah lulus juga di tes bakat Indonesia yang banyak banget ketemu different kinds of students, mereka yang kalau misalnya didatengin, kamu tahu nggak sih mau kuliah apa? Nggak tahu, blank. Even like there are several columns in the psychotest which needs you to write down what you like atau nggak minat kalian tuh kemana, tapi mereka masih blank. Ada yang udah bener-bener oh tahu pokoknya mau ngambil ini di sini udah tahu, bener-bener banyak banget tipe orang. Jadi mungkin kalau misalnya dari aku pribadi yang harus kita ketahui itu know yourself, bener-bener kenalin diri kalian sendiri, apa minat kalian, yang kalian mau apa, terus yang kayak kita bisanya sejauh mana sih, kayak let's say I wanna take the major kayak Ethan gitu, yang very mathematic tapi emang otaknya nggak nyampe. Maybe you can take it, you can go into the university 1-2 semester capek, drop out. Kita yang keluar, kita milih untuk keluar, ngulang lagi 1 tahun sia-sia kayak gitu. Jadi benar-benar harus kenalin dulu diri sendiri, maunya seperti apa, maunya jadi apa. As for me myself, caranya adalah mungkin orang-orang beda ya, tapi kalau misalnya dari aku pribadi bukan yang ngelihat di depan, oh kuliah apa ya, terus nanti setelah kuliah apa ya, aku putar balik, jadi aku mau jadi apa, oh I wanna be a child psychologist. I wanna be a child psychologist, oh harus ngambil apa, oh harus S2 untuk jadi psikolog. Berarti otomatis kita tahu nih, kita harus S1 plus S2, we have that time frame yang kita udah tahu, oh S1 maksimal banget 4 tahun, kenapa? Karena we still need to spend our time di S2-nya ini kan. Jadi ya diputar balik, apa kita mau jadi apa, kita cari steps-nya to go there. Like when you have a goal, achieving your goal will be much easier than you don't know what you want to do, and you have to find a goal for it. Gitu sih, kalau misalnya dari aku.
Kalau saya sih lebih personal life aja ya. For people who wanna go abroad, I think when I was back like this, like 12th grade,
tua ya kok.
I think I was really excited. Soalnya kayak mungkin pernah liburan juga sebelumnya ke Kanada, and then I think it would be fun to live alone abroad gitu. Turns out, not really. Kayaknya mau kayak, I'm gonna have a lot of free time gitu, bakal sendiri. Aduh, 24 jam mau dikemanain gitu kan. Pergi gak usah izin, mau ngapain terserah, mau pulang jam 3 pagi boleh, gak ada yang tahu. And I think it's just kayak kuda keluar kandang lah kan istilahnya. But after experiencing it, I think with more freedom comes more responsibilities aja sih. So, for example, sesimpel bebersih your own place, doing laundry, washing dishes, cooking, kan itu it takes up a lot of time. Jadi, there you go, those 24 hours ya jadi you doing errands for yourself, for your place gitu. Jadi, I don't think it's that free yang dibayangkan pas saya kelas 12, jadi lebih prepare aja gitu. Mungkin dari sekarang udah mulai biasain do some house stuff, jadi kayak nanti pas di sana nggak kaget-kaget banget. Aduh ini siapa yang nyapu, siapa yang ngepel, bervakum, semua gitu. And then bebersih kamar mandi mungkin kan nggak biasa gitu, ngelapin or something. Because it's gonna get dirty, it's not gonna clean itself. Jadi kayak
no one will clean it for you.
Iya, jadi kayak be prepared aja sih from me.
Same.
Bagus.
Yeah, same sih kayak what Hilda said, kayak try to learn what you want 10 years ahead. So and then track back because it's easier that way more than if you like plan, okay, I want to do this and then this. Because when you track back, you know what you actually wanted. So for example, I myself, I learned that I want to be a businessman. So it's 10 years old already. Yeah. So after 10 years, yeah, thanks God that I already tried to open something. But I checked back before. So, okay, I want to be this businessman. And then I want to take a master's in abroad. And then before master's, I want to work for a year or two. And then for bachelor's, I want to study in Indonesia. And why I do that, because for example, why I want to learn Indonesia first, so I can network with people, businessmen or like similar-minded people in Indonesia first. And other than that, same like Ethan as well, like you should learn how to live by your own, and sometimes not by your own, but with a flatmate, with someone else. Because after in my masters, I live with a flatmate that I just met online, which is sketchy, but thanks God it's okay. So I'm still alive. It's kind of sketchy. And we just met when we were flying to Australia in the airport. So no, but I know we met already in the course, but and then we like physically we just met eye to eye in the airport, and then turns out it's not that easy to live with first with yourself, with cleaning and cooking and stuff, and then you have someone else who might not have the same etiquette or the same common sense, maybe like some preferences. So like for example, in my masters, I do all the stuff because he doesn't want to do that, but it's okay because it's a deal that we made beforehand like that.
Okay. So, do you guys have any questions so far? We are almost at the end. Any questions? One or two, maybe? Any of you wanna ask? Okay. Siap, Kokohan, silahkan. Okay, sorry. Sorry ya, kayaknya nggak kedengeran. You may stand up.
Is there anything that you guys regret doing back in the college life?
Thank you, Hans, for the question. Silahkan, Kak.
I have nyambung sama tadi kok Jeremy ngomong about organization. So waktu I just entered university 6 months after COVID. And then COVID lasted 2 years. So there wasn't any campus activity. So I was initially very interested joining organization. Like during my second year, I already planned it out. Like, okay, second year doing organization and third year doing something else, gitu, looking for internship or something. But COVID unexpectedly happened, so I got too lazy I would say, to sign up because there wasn't any organizational activities too, because campus was dead, basically, no one was there. Jadi I think that would be one of my regret during university, not joining organization, because it helps you when you're later looking for a career. Because I think a lot of people, a lot of companies or like HRs value organization because it shows how you interact with people, how you can manage things. So yeah, that would be my biggest regret, I think.
Maybe for me, my biggest regret was not taking an internship on my last semester. So mostly in Pastimula because we only do business project at the end of the last semester. So we have a lot of extra time to take something else, and actually wanted to take that internship just because it gave us an opportunity to learn, and for people who want to work afterwards, it's very helpful because I think it's a very additional point for like companies. They're looking for fresh grads who have experiences. That's one of my regrets, and the other one is maybe like more socializing. I think just to like know more people of when I was there.
Be for me more of the socializing part. Yeah. I feel like in university life we have many free times we can say because for the classes it's not as much as we're in high school, right? Yeah, so socializing and networking is one of the most important thing because why? We don't know later in 5 years what they're gonna be. If we have the link with them, maybe in the future we have a business partnership and everything. And yeah, we're from the COVID generation of university life, so we just I think only around like 1+ semester, only one, and yeah, I can say just 1 semester on site. Then we go online, and yeah, we got back on site during skripsi. Udah bener-bener di akhir banget. Same as before juga, Ko Jeremy udah bilang, internship is one of the most important thing as well. Because being a fresh graduate right now, I see that it's kind of hard to find a job, especially when we don't have any experience. Because companies will rather find the ones having more experiences. And you have to also see your alma mater. Yeah. Especially if you want to work in Indonesia, this is a bit of a tips. Knowing the HR world, we actually see where do you graduate from. And then what is your working experience? What are the organizational experience you're having? That's gonna be a plus point for your career in the future as well.
Okay, thank you. One last questions maybe. Is there any of you who still have question? No? Okay, so Kak, last one. Udah lapar kayak bentar lagi lunch. Okay, oh ya. Oh iya puasa guys, kita puasa harus nunggu sampai jam buka. Oke, last one Kak. Tadi kan kalau pas Michelle nanya siapa yang rindu si Wishes mau balik lagi. So tiga-tiganya kakak pernah angkat tangan ya, kayak you wish the time can go back gitu ya. So is there anything that you wanna share, last one that you wanna share to the grade 12 students here, the things that they can have to treasure while they are still in the high school, whatever it is that you wanna say to them, that's the thing that they need to treasure as they're at the end of their high school year.
I think in the treasure having not much responsibility aja sih. Iya. Iya kan. Cause like university udah nambah. And then once you work, nambah lagi. And then your parents don't finance you anymore. So basically what you earn is what you have. You can't ask for more, kan ada ya malu lah mungkin ya. Adulting life lah, adulting. So enjoy aja sih, cause time pass by quickly.
To enjoy ya, whatever you have right now.
Maybe what you have to treasure is your friends around you. Because when you go to university, they won't be around you anymore. Like physically, maybe you go to different countries, you go to different universities, which they won't be around you physically, maybe still virtually. So you have to cherish the moment with your friends. And also, I think this is one of the most important thing as well. Treasure your teachers because they still like masih ngemong kalian gitu loh. Walaupun ya SOR udah nggak terlalu dimong lah ya. Tapi tuh kalau you have troubles with study, you can go to your teacher and ask for tutors and everything. While in university life, kalian gak bisa cari sendiri caranya untuk kalian bisa pass that class. Itu sih, that kind of responsibility as well your parents. Parents kalian masih ngasih kalian uang jajan, kalian di rumah makan gak usah mikir. Percayalah kalau misalnya udah kuliah, tinggal sendiri, mau makan setiap harinya pusing. Iya, makan apa lagi? Let's say nge-scroll Gojek bisa sejam akhirnya nggak jadi makan. Yang banyak hal-hal yang mungkin saat kita sekarang di kelas 12 gak mikirin nih. Di rumah, let's say you have ada mbak yang bantuin untuk beresin kamar, ada yang bantuin untuk cuci baju, kita tahu semuanya selesai. Tapi kalau misalnya udah di kuliah, semuanya harus dikerjain sendiri. Especially when you're already working as well. Yang namanya uang jajan, bisa dibilang jangan diharapin lagi karena kita harus benar-benar udah tahu nih. Let's say what is your monthly income, you have to earn how much and how will you manage your money. Itu juga mungkin udah bisa untuk kalian coba atur dari sekarang. Jangan seenaknya yang kayak mau pergi minta duit dikasih abis. Nah itu juga mungkin lesson learned from your experience as well.
Yeah, more or less the same. So, yeah, I think high school is one of the most fun season in our life, I think. But every season has its own struggles and its own joy. So I think even though high school is very fun, so sayang-sayang Mr. Abednya. Terus ya kayak temen-temen. Ya walaupun I remember during my high school Mr. Abed is very cruel to us. Nyebelin banget. Kasih tugasnya.
Was atau is?
Oh,
Saudara-saudara.
Still was still and will I think. Terus teman-teman semua yang kalian sekarang you look left and right after 10 years. Maybe some of them are still close to you, some of them are maybe already far away physically and emotionally. So like try to cherish every moment and then make most of your spirit week, I think. Because when I was in 12th grade, the spirit week is our kayak balas dendam terakhir gitu. Benar-benar we want to make the best of it because it's the last time we did it. And then just try to enjoy everything from now and then onwards.
Thank you so much. Give applause for 3 of our kakak alumni. Very thoughtful and very minimal conversation that we have with them. So hopefully our sharing sessions today will be beneficial to all of you as you are preparing for your next stage of life. But before that, cherish your moment ya. Cherish your moment, treasure what you already have right now. It's still 2 more months. Ya, around 2 up to 3 more months. Ini mau di-cherish atau mode survival? Kayaknya pas saya bilang 3 more months, survival mode ya. Jangan-jangan ya, in the midst of that survival mode, hopefully you can still enjoy and treasure each moment that you have with your friends ya. So thank you, give one more applause for 3 of our kakak guest speaker. So we are going to close the session with prayer and also prayer for lunch. Mr. Abed, would you mind to close us in prayer?